Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is a re-entry Monday.
Yeah. It's an off day. It's what it is. It's an off day. Holla.
It's an off day. It's an off day for me. It's an off day for Dallas. It's not an off day for the podcast, though. He's trying to tell me that he's in Stockton, California, and there's just no way. Like, it looks too nice to be Stockton. You're not.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. The foliage is bright and popping. You know, the bees are out. The bees are doing their work this time of year, and I think that's why you guys are in total amazement right now. Like I said, the foliage is on hit. It's just a great day to have a great day here in the 209.
That is one of those things that people don't know about Dallas, or maybe you do if you follow him on Twitter. Dude's like a fucking beekeeper on the side of being a podcaster and a baseball broadcaster. The dude just like mingles with bees for fun.
Oh yeah. My daughters trip people out because they'll go up to bees and they see bees and they handle them. Like they'll stick their hands out and they pick them up, and people are fucking losing their mind, and the girls like to play with them.
How do they not get stung by bees?
Because bees are not violent in nature. Like They are just they're there to protect their hive. But if you're not a threat, it's all good. Their animals are in the wild are so unpredictable. Like, yeah, how do you know that you and the bee have an understanding that you're not a threat to them? If you just like pick up,
you don't know this, but Braden, that was Braden's part B.
It's
He's 1/4 B.
You're just not violating their space. You're not a threat to their hive. You're not. And something else, you like movements, like when you're going to be attacked by a bear, right? What do they tell you? Stand your ground, get big, yell at the bear. And that seems counterintuitive to your survival instinct until you remember that the bear can run about 18 to 25 miles an hour, which means you're completely fucked if you try to take off. So the bees, you just don't move quickly or rapidly, no swatting, and they get it. They know you're there. They know you're an ally.
Interesting. How many times have you been stung by a bee?
By our bees at home, quite literally never been stung by our bees.
There's
my
no
wife just got stung.
Fucking way,
no,
dude.
Swear to God. My wife just got stung for the first time the other day, had a bee in her suit. Shoulders swole up. She looked like she was wearing fucking shoulder pads on like one side. Like her arm was just massive. Like she'd just been doing traps, like just one-sided trap, banging it out. That was the first time she's been stung in fucking 4 years.
That's crazy. I don't know. I don't fuck with bees. I got nothing against them. I'm just not trying to like go out there and play with them or anything like that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if the honeybee goes, we're fucking toast.
I understand the ecosystem and all that. I understand their importance and their significance to our survival and the way of our world, but I'm just not trying to go roll around in a pile of bees thinking that they're cool with it. But anyways, we got to talk about what happened this weekend. Got to talk a little bit about that. This episode is sponsored by Knockaround Sunglasses, quality polarized affordable shades, including the new MLB and U.S. women's soccer team pairs. Check them out at knockaround.com. Shout out to Knockaround. We appreciate them. But there are a ton of storylines that we could talk about in this segment. The opening segment on every single Monday Baseball is Dead, presented by DirecTV, home to the most local MLB games. With the weekend storylines here, Justin Havens. I don't know where you're going to go here, but I know where you should go. But I'm going to let you take the reins on this.
Okay. I don't think this is where I'm going. The Giants getting swept.
They've lost 5 straight.
Yeah, right. They've lost 5 straight, but specifically the sweep at the hands of a team that I think they probably circled as one they should have had. Getting swept by the Nationals is a bad look at any time of the season right now. It's deflating because I think it was on Thursday's podcast, I was talking them up as like a potential stealth Ohtani candidate, trade candidate. That's not necessarily less relevant now than it was then. But, to be 4 back of the division now and lose 3 straight to a team that you really shouldn't be losing series to and certainly shouldn't be getting swept was, if not like the headline story, that was the one that kind of grabbed my attention when I was checking up on things over the weekend.
Yeah, the Giants losing 5 straight was very surprising to me. They had been playing really good ball for a while. And not just to lose 5 straight, but to get swept by arguably, not even arguably, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. That kind of threw me for a loop a little bit over the weekend. Joseph, what stood out to you over the weekend in baseball?
How about the damn Orioles, man? The
Yeah.
Orioles taking 3 out of 4. They're up to 2-game lead now.
Yep.
Don't look now. All close games.
Mm-hmm.
Like dogfight. But the Orioles come up on top, man. Kind of surprised me a little bit, but at this point, we covered this last week. No one's surprised by those anymore. They're here.
So I have a little factoid about these Baltimore Orioles. And that is that they are on pace right now. They're on pace to win 100 games. And if they were to do that, the Orioles would become the fastest non-expansion team to go from 100-plus losses to 100-plus wins. They lost 110 games, I believe, in 2021. And if they were to continue the pace that they're on right now, they would become the fastest to go from 100-plus losses to 100-plus wins. Just a 2-year turnaround.
How fucking crazy is it that they have not been swept in the Adley-Rutschman era? How bananas of a statistic is that? That the Baltimore Orioles have yet to lose 3 games in a row since Adley-Rutschman arrived in the big leagues. That is
wild.
Incredible.
Like, Adley doesn't know what it's like to lose as an Oriole.
It's so impressive. I want to double check the stat.
What's that?
I said it's so impressive. I want to double check your stat.
Double check it.
That's truly mind blowing.
You know what's also mind blowing about the Orioles? And this is a team that's like loaded with like young fucking offensive hitters. Their number 1 player in WAR is their closer, Felix Bautista. Hey, can we talk about? Hey, you know what?
Hey, O's fans, Dallas here. Just wanted to check in and see how your newly acquired bullpen situation's going on.
Oh yeah,
Wow,
didn't he walk the first 2 guys? Yeah.
No. Fuji did not walk the first guy. No, the first guy may have ended up walking around the bases if he would have liked, because the first pitch that Shintaro Fujinami threw in a Baltimore Orioles uniform promptly ended up in the left field stands.
Oh no.
But again, that
you could see maybe a little more excited. Like I pumped, rooting for the downfall of your ex guy. That's your guy.
No, that's and I was just gonna say
you're above that, Dallas.
No, well, I want nothing more than Fuji to just wanted him to just come in blowing doors. Because I was trying to tell anybody and everybody that would listen.
No one is convinced of that here.
Oh, I'm not too worried about that. I wanted this dude. I told it's what I tweeted out. I tweeted out like, look, this guy's it's 102 with a fucking disgusting split. Like the dude embarrasses people when he's in the strike zone. If he is not
sounds
in the
like he
strike
embarrasses
zone,
himself more so than any other result.
I mean, I feel like if you know that the dude coming in throws 100 miles an hour and that's his forte, then you're probably more prone to ambush a fastball, kind of like what happened to him, as opposed to wait it out, feel it out. And that's what happened. Look, he run into Franco, who was looking to get off real early. It happened, but from there, Fuji can reel it in. He can reel it in.
I don't know.
Felix Bautista's K9 is 17.
That's ridiculous.
His strikeout rate is 50%, dude. He strikes out 50% of the batters he fucking faces.
King Felix,
It's
baby.
stupid.
King,
Stop
King
He's
Felix.
King Felix.
He's the king.
Stop it.
Did Felix Hernandez
No,
ever have
no.
fucking
No.
17K per nine?
No,
Well, Felix threw more than one inning at a time. We'll
Oh
start
my
there.
god! All right, so relievers are pussies now.
I didn't say
That's
that.
basically what you said.
Nope.
That's kind of what you
I
said.
think it's clear and obvious what kind of opportunity the K per nine has when you're coming out of the bullpen as opposed to having to start the baseball
Yeah,
game
I
and
don't
pitch
agree with that.
7, 8, 9 innings.
You ever
'Cause
come
that's
out of
what
the bullpen in the
that's
big
what
leagues,
starters
Dallas?
did back in the day, Jared. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Give me my back in my day moment. Back in my day, Jared, when starters took the baseball, we were going 7, 8, 9 innings. All right? None of this Prince Felix bullshit.
Yeah, his name's
One
King
inning,
Felix. first of
glorify
all.
my K per nine. No,
He's King
it's
Felix.
not
I get
King
it.
Felix.
The perfect
It'll
game
never be
guys got to
King
stick
Felix.
together. Okay. Listen,
Okay,
Felix
okay.
Bautista has how many perfect games does Felix Bautista have this year? In my opinion,
I mean,
a lot.
Joey,
I
if you were
count
to
it.
pick
I
and
count
select, if you were to pick and select his innings, you could probably put a couple together.
Dallas
actually.
Braden
I-
in
I
his
count it.
career as a reliever had a 6.9 strikeouts per nine.
Fucking deadly.
I would have taken the under.
So if,
Sass.
if being a reliever is so much easier,
Assassin.
then why couldn't?
Does that make you feel better to say that out loud, Jay? Hey?
What?
Does that make you feel better? Say it again.
Oh,
For
that
the
I
whole
would have
last
taken
year.
the under on 6.9 if Jared had asked me beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
doesn't make you
ERA is
take
It
not
doesn't make me
terrible.
feel
69.
anyway. It just makes, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. Like as a starter, a 726 OPS against, and as a reliever, a 759 OPS against. That's pretty consistent. Like Dallas never
That
really.
just means I faced enough guys as a starter to lower that number. It's not like it was any better.
yeah, I mean, a
Just the body of work.
4.17 ERA as a starter, a 3.86 as a reliever.
Significantly better out of the pen.
Yeah,
Maximize my stuff.
yeah. That backs up your point that being a reliever is so fucking easy, and that's why King Felix has a 17 strikeouts per nine.
Well, I think it just proves the point you're trying to make. I wasn't making the point
What's my point?
that it's easier to face 3 batters at a time than it is, say, 27.
Yeah, but having a 17 strikeouts per nine, or regardless of starter reliever, I mean that's pretty impressive, wouldn't you say?
Very impressive.
Mhm.
Very impressive.
That's why he's the king, baby. That's why he's the king.
He'll never be the king.
What stood out to you over the weekend, Dallas?
I just because the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
the Hall of Fame stuff.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Like I enjoy. I will always enjoy as much shit as I talk on the museum and how screwed up the voting and like it just. I can put all that aside and appreciate the moment and appreciate, the speeches and the celebration of these guys. So that's something that I will always gravitate towards. Always.
So can I piggyback off of that?
Please.
Next year's ballot. Some interesting names. Like I feel like from our generation, like growing up watching baseball, like these are guys that I feel it's almost like they're still playing. Like that's how fresh it is. Like we grew up with these guys. For the newcomers on the 2024 ballot, here's some interesting names. Adrian Beltre, who I feel like is going to be a first ballot
Book it.
Hall of Famer. Like
Book it.
that's a yes.
Book it.
Adrian Gonzalez. We don't have to have like the yes or no, but like that's more of like a fringe guy. Joe Mauer.
Knee jerk.
Sorry, going back to Adrian Gonzalez, I think it's more of a question of whether he gets 5% of the vote and stays on the ballot.
No,
I'm not trying to be No. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't care
I
about
know.
Adrian Gonzalez like that. I'm just saying, like, I think he's not. It's not a gradient, right? Like, if you were like really, really good, there aren't many people who just debut at like 30% of the vote, right? You're either seriously in consideration or you're not. I think he'll fall off.
Yeah. Joe Mauer.
He better fucking get in.
Joe
I think it's
Mauer's
going to
on
take
there.
him. I think it's going to take him a few.
Chase Utley.
Well, because the power numbers just don't,
Dude, I not to do a whole Mauer thing, but like I was listening to the Yankees Royals game over the weekend, and Michael Kay made just a very casual comment about Salvador Perez being a future Hall of Famer, and I tweeted something about that, and like, people who were like, well, who do you think are the Hall of Fame catchers from his era and who should go in before? And I said Posey and Mauer, and like the number of people who responded to me that like thinking Salvador Perez is somehow has produced a superior career to Joe Mauer was fucking crazy. That is a crazy person's take. Like, I would love to hear anybody tell me about how Salvador Perez has had a better career than Joe Mauer. Unless all you care about is just, did a guy win a World Series or not? And if that's the end of the question, that's fine, but that's not really what the Hall of Fame is about. Joe Mauer deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest catchers of all time, let alone his generation.
Yeah. Chase Utley's a yes for me.
I think it's a fascinating candidacy, though.
Just because the wins above replacement. It's like he's not just a compiler. I mean, he not an MVP. Like this is all off the top of the head. Like,
no,
I
know.
Examine. I only planned on really talking about just the newcomers and not doing like a breakdown of yes, no. But Chase Utley, and then the other one would be David Wright.
It's a great ballot for people of our age, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This feels like the first ballot of like our generation. If
Yeah.
you're in your like early to mid 30s and you grew up watching baseball, like these are your guys.
Well, to go back to the conversation we ended last podcast on, it's got an MVP baseball flavor to it too, right? Like these guys a lot of those guys were star caliber players in the game when we were playing and growing up.
Yep. That's so those are the newcomers. You're still gonna have some holdovers from the ballot: Beltran, Helton, Andrew Jones, Manny, Billy Wagner, Gary Sheffield, A-Rod, guys like that. They will be coming back.
I'm thinking about just making a serious push for Billy Wagner.
Do it. I'll join you.
Out of all those fucking guys,
Jay,
out of all the guys he just
What?
named, you're going to push for Billy Wagner, man. Crazy.
why? What's wrong with pushing for Billy Wagner?
I mean, I think he's like the 10th best person that Jared just rattled off in terms of Hall of Fame worthiness is the easiest way to say it. Like, I don't really understand what the urgency on getting a guy through 900 innings in his career into the Hall of Fame is over guys like, Johan fell off the ballot, which is like, if
that's the biggest crime.
A person
of all.
who tells me that Billy Wagner deserves to be in the Hall of Fame before Johan Santana is a person that I know is fucking crazy. No one would rather have Billy Wagner's
Johan
career than
thing
Johan
is-
Santana.
The Johan
Nobody.
thing is criminal.
Yeah.
Two wrongs don't
the
make a
Johan
right,
thing is
Jay. Two
criminal.
wrongs don't make a right.
That's fine. Let's get to Billy Wagner when we get like the other 10 people in. Todd Helton was a name that was thrown around. Todd Helton being way before Billy Wagner. Who are the other people?
talking
That's
about a
fine. They
guy-
can be
Carlos
in before.
fucking Beltran.
I
put
said
him in the
this
Hall
is
of
who
Fame.
I'm thinking about making a run for. And you know what, Jay? You may have just fucking solidified.
That's fine. Do it. I'll be out there battling you on the other side.
There you go. I look good to see Dallas sticking up for the closers for once.
Oh God.
I mean, the guy broke his fucking arm and just was like, you know what? I'll still be a Hall of Famer with the other hand.
I mean,
That's legendary.
I don't know. Like, how many years has Billy Wagner been on the ballot now? Like 5?
It's getting close.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I feel like it's getting close for him.
feels like a decent number.
That's kind of like why I'm not on Jay Hayes' side on that one. Like, I don't think it's a matter of like talent, comparing talent on the ballot. It's more like, hey, who's running out of time here to pick up steam? And Billy Wagner might be one of those guys.
But why does his candidacy need to pick up steam? Like why do we need a decade to drag Billy Wagner's ass into the Hall of Fame?
We don't. I'm
so
the way that I'm
tired of
looking
this
at it is we've
bar
gotten it
just
wrong.
lower and lower and lower every single year.
Do you not agree that Billy Wagner's a Hall of Famer?
I don't really feel that passionately about his candidacy. No, there are so many people that are in the queue for the Hall of Fame, including people like Chase Utley that you just named, that I think are way more deserving of being in the Hall of Fame than Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner, how many innings did he throw?
This is his 9th year.
900 innings. 900 innings.
He's going to get in next year, Jay Hay. He's at 68.1%.
This is a separate conversation from will he get in.
He's got 2 more chances at it. He's at 68.1. You need 75 to get in. Helton is next year will be his 6th stab at it. He's at 72.2, so we'll see those guys. But I mean, you start looking at like those are the names that say like some of these other fucking names like Jim Johnson, Phil Hughes, Ryan Madsen, Brad Ziegler, Denard Span, Brandon Phillips. Yeah. So you're going to get Beltray, Mauer, Utley, Wright. Bartolo's first year. I know Dallas fucking hates Bartolo Colon. Matt Holliday, former teammate of yours, Dallas. Jose Bautista.
As well as Bartolo.
And Manny Ramirez.
And Manny.
Yep. Victor Martinez, James Shields.
And Brad Ziegler.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me do a quick little shout out for Brad Ziegler there. Because it might not mean much.
Didn't you just fucking give him a shout out like 2 weeks ago? How many fucking Brad Ziegler shout outs do we need?
I don't think it was Brad Ziegler.
Didn't you say like he like fucking collects cards of like guys that he like didn't when we were talking about fucking dopey ass Matt Strom? You talked about Brad Ziegler.
That's
too.
Matt Strom.
No, Ziegler is a collector, and unless there's some controversy surrounding that, I might want to touch on
Brad Ziegler. But go ahead, no, give him another shout out. Yeah.
Ziegler is what we call a full-fledged green fly, full on. That's just a dude who went from, we were teammates in, I think we were teammates in Stockton and then teammates in Double-A. And he was just a standard stock right-hander, 87 to 90-ish, maybe a little more on it, but just average. A lot of different arm slots, but was just getting shelled. And they're like, look, it's probably not going to work out, dude. And if you want to see the mound in this organization again, and you think you got a shot to get to the big leagues, we want to send you to Arizona, and we're going to teach you how to throw submarine. Sound good? And he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm in. And so he went to Arizona, just completely revamped everything about how he pitches, just became a submariner, and then put together a fucking 12-year big league career. So a lot of people get met with a lot of different challenges along the way to the big leagues. Fancying yourself somebody who could probably compete at the next level with how you're doing things right now, and then being faced with the realization that that's never going to happen unless you essentially just start throwing underhand. I don't know how many people make that adjustment. So I just want to give guys love, because in the baseball sense of things, he was never supposed to have his name on a Hall of Fame ballot. And the fact that he does is really fucking cool.
No, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Remember Big Tasty? No?
No. That's a no for everybody.
You definitely remember Big Tasty. He's, the big boy. He fucking pimps the homers. I tweet about him all the time.
I remember.
Thank you. Okay. 32 minutes ago, it was just announced that he signed with the Texas Rangers. So congrats to Big Tasty.
Congrats, Big Tasty.
Yep. Big Tasty is headed down south. Tweeting that out. Big Tasty is headed down south. Love that.
I'm pretty sure he already is down south. This is colleges in Texas. I'm on the seams with this guy. I know all about him.
Thank you, Joe.
He's
At least someone
Texas.
pays the fuck attention. Christ. How do you not know Big Tasty?
Home. It's crazy. These guys probably don't even have social media. Don't even know what's...
Yeah. You do remember, because remember, we were talking about the guy, Dallas, and I said I DM'd him, and I was like, hey, I was like, is it okay if I call you Big Tasty? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, every time you hit a home run, I'm gonna tweet out the clip. And he was like, yeah, like he's like, I got more where that came from or whatever. Like he's just like,
he said I got you once a week.
Yeah. He's a fucking.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, Dallas smokes a lot of weed. I don't expect him to know. Jay Ham a little surprised that. I feel like Big Tasty's right up his alley.
No, I remember you tweeting about it now that we brought it up, but it's make the big leaks. Then you'll
he will.
On the radar.
A lot to get to today, by the way. There are a fuck ton of stories to get to on this episode. But first and foremost, baseball fans, you could be winning every inning with the hottest offers in the game. DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered from the top of the first to the bottom of the ninth all season long. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can take a shot at bigger payouts with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook, opt in, and place your parlay by combining 3 or more bets from the same game. Every additional leg gets you an extra boost up to 100%. Step up to the plate now with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance. Opt-in and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. All right, let's get into it. First and foremost, the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds, per Mark Feinsand, are open to trading Jonathan India. Here is the official tweet from Mark Feinsand. The Reds have told other teams they are willing to trade 2021 NL Rookie of the Year Jonathan India for young, controllable starting pitchers. Per sources, Cincinnati has a glut of young infielders and more on the way. So, I don't know. This came up not too long ago, basically when Ellie De La Cruz got called up. The narratives just switched to the Reds have to trade Jonathan India. And then I think, the discussion sort of became like, why would we do that? Why can't we just shift some positions around and this and that? Which I agreed with at the time. But now the Reds are truly in a position where they have so much young talent. Not that Jonathan India was the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. It's crazy that he's the old guy on this team with Joey Votto. He's been in the league for 3 years, but they have so much young talent on the way. And it's not just, we got a guy here, we got a guy there. They're like stars. These guys that are coming up through the Red system. They truly have I guess I don't know. It's like an overstock at this point. So the Cincinnati Reds are now faced with a situation where it's not like they're trying to get rid of him. It's not like they're actively selling him. But if the right trade presents itself, the Reds could be trading Jonathan India. What do we think about the prospect of this happening?
I think it's an aggressive stance to take in terms of willingness to move from a guy who has meant a lot to your club, but I think it's almost refreshing in a sense that they fancy themselves in such a position where they're like, look, we know what we have down in the minor leagues because they've got a few different shortstops, right? That they're pretty high on. They've got guys that they're more than willing to part with if that means solidifying and shoring up some areas that they need help in, which when we start to talk about the Reds right now, we've talked about what the rotation looks like and how they, I don't want to say have gotten lucky, but how they're winning ball games in places where it's like, that typically doesn't happen. You don't give up 5 and win the game all the time. They've gotten, things like that have happened for them. So as they continue to move forward and figure out who they are as a club, shoring up what's happening on the mound, I think really benefits what they got going on. Really benefits what they got going on. So if you can deal from a position of strength, that's exactly what you're here to do.
I think the interesting thing is, like, with the way India's season has gone, like, what sort of cost-controlled pitching are you getting back? Because this conversation seems to assume that the cost-controlled pitching is pitching that's helping them this season. As opposed, because, like, when we last talked, we had the Jonathan India conversation, as Jared said, when Ellie came up, his season looked a little bit different than it looks right now because he's been very bad lately. And since that conversation, he's had a 674 OPS and a 209 batting average over his last 47 games. So it's not a small sample necessarily either. That's a pretty significant chunk of this season. He's at 1.3 F4, which is 15th among second basemen. And when you look at his 2023 season as a whole, it's now starting to look a lot more like his disappointing 2022 than his 2021 Rookie of the Year. And I think it's not an accident then that when these tweets come out, he's referred to as the 2021 Rookie of the Year, because that's where the shine is at this point, right? It's a little bit removed 2 seasons from now. So, like, I believe when we talked about it last time, I was like, why are we shedding position player talent? Like, let's give this a second before we're trading Jonathan India, who's one of our more proven talents. Unfortunately, he has not really played very well since then, and I would be very curious to see what the return on cost-controlled pitching would be for Jonathan India right now. Like, what is his value league-wide? I'm just kind of curious about it.
Maybe Ellie showing up too, Jay. Maybe Ellie showing up and doing what he's doing has given them a little more confidence to pull that trigger and say, you know what? We thought we knew what we had in Ellie, and we had a pretty good idea how it could possibly play out, and goddamn, that worked. Okay, so you know what? Let's keep it rolling. Let's try our hand here with some of these other guys and see what happens. And instead of continuing to ratchet up the cost on what India is going to, eventually cost us, let's move him. And let's see if we can insert one of our other guys and maybe match him up with somebody else and get that same level of production with the cost.
I think they're at a point with the offense where they could replicate Jonathan India's offensive production pretty well. My question more is
is what they're going to get back.
Yeah, who is that pitcher? And I'm not saying he doesn't exist, just who is he? And is he helping the 2023 Cincinnati Reds like win the division or win or start a playoff game or something like that? Because that seems to be kind of baked into the thinking or the conversation when people are assessing should they be trading Jonathan India.
Well, and I would think that they're probably more likely to find a bullpen arm that someone is willing to part ways with, as opposed to an arm that could take up a rotation spot. And I mean, I think that's just the way it is.
And then are you trading Jonathan India for a bullpen arm? I'm not.
That's
unless it's like a Felix Bautista type, like, which is obviously not happening specifically. But
I was just going, no, right. But I was just going to say, this has got to be somebody that you can come in, that you already feel good about, potentially closing ball games for you, if not leading up to whoever it is you hand the ball to in the ninth right now. That would have to be the case. Have to be.
Joe, do you think the Cincinnati Reds would be wise to do something like this?
Yeah, why not, bro? With De La Cruz coming up, shortstop, third base, with Matt McClain going off, rookie, shortstop, play second base easily. All these guys can play second base. The new guy, Encarnacion, he plays third base, so that probably means he plays second base too, kind of. And if he plays third base, that means Ellie goes second base. And they also got like their second ranked prospect who isn't up yet is also a third baseman and shortstop. So they have so many of these guys. Why not, see and what you can
both
get?
Both of those guys, what's his name? Barrero, I think, is the name that I heard floating around.
Yeah, Barrero.
Like, I mean, he's got time. I mean, Barrero's got time in the big league. But
Jose Barrero, and I was the guy who I was talking about who's ranked.
Marte.
Yes.
Right?
So that's another guy. Yeah. Barrero's even more. Like, they have so many of them. I think they're basically thinking India, who's going into arbitration, I mean, we could get something for this guy. We don't have any pitching. So anything we can get helps because we got too many motherfuckers and not enough places to put them. It's a good position to have. It's tough. I feel bad for Kurt Herbstreit. You know, he's gonna be pissed, but you know, it is. It's kind of a good place to be for the Reds. I don't see why they wouldn't at least, you know, consider it.
And they're just desperate for pitching. Like if they're, it's not just an Achilles heel type deal where it's like, oh no, we have like this like minor weakness over here. No, they have like a fatal flaw. If they don't address their starting pitching, they're not going anywhere. Like you're just not we talked about this before. The postseason is just a different brand of baseball. You're not playing the same kind of baseball that you play during the regular season. It's just different. And you don't have a shot if you don't have a rotation that can get outs. And right now, I think it's fair to say that the Cincinnati Reds don't have a rotation that's going to carry them very far into the postseason. And it would be a real shame if, because they did close the gap again. I think it was like they were 2 games back. Now they're only half game back. What?
We're going to see this postseason. I think this postseason is going to show us something not different, nothing that we don't already know, but I think it's going to really put on display the evolution of bullpen responsibility and bullpen management. Because as one of those things change, so does the other. What I'm asking out of my guys down there in the bullpen is very different today than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? And now managing that has become as important, if not more important than ever. So when we watched Andrew Miller in 2016 just absolutely fucking destroy lineups, I think we're going to see not necessarily more of that and that kind of dominance, but you're going to see multiple guys step the fuck up, come in, give you 5 outs today, 3 tomorrow, maybe fucking 2 the next day because I can come in and face the last 2 of an inning and not have to worry about facing that third. I just think that we're going to see that on display.
I'm not going to hit the breaking news.
Teams are trying to figure out how to put it together.
The Rockies just traded Pierce Johnson to the Braves for a pair of minor leaguers.
Let's go.
Yeah. He's awesome.
That Feinstein tweet about the Rockies should be very active over the next week with CJ Cron, Randall, Grichuk, Jurickson, Profar, Brent Suter, and Brad Hand all potentially being moved. Those guys all stink. That's not a collection of trade assets. That's just like people that happen to be on your roster.
Yeah. He's
maybe it's a change of scenery thing, Jay. Hey, it's a lot of guys who could benefit from a lot of different changes.
Pierce Johnson has been bad for a while.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, he's got a 5.71 ERA over his last 20. See what you did there. I think they have a name for that.
Is he their closer over Daniel Bard?
He was. They removed him from the closer spot. Yeah.
I guess they don't want to put Bard in high leverage situations.
I mean, Bard was still pitching like the 8th in high leverage. He just wasn't closing games, I guess.
I don't know why, though. The guy's been lights out all year since he's gotten back from the WBC.
He's been lights out since he came back to the big leagues.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to, we don't need to go too deep into the Colorado Rockies bullpen right now and see what are they doing, but I don't know why they got a guy with a 6 ERA closing games when you got Daniel Bard with a fucking 2 ERA.
Yeah.
Pitching the fucking 7th like an idiot.
What the hell does it matter? How often is Pierce Johnson getting
that's
into
where the
close
wins and
games
losses
anyway?
come for them, Joe.
Gonna do a full breakdown. I'm excited for Pierce. Bullpen.
I'm excited for Pierce.
Yeah. He's a really good guy. I mean, I don't know that he's pitching very well, but he's a great guy. I think you'll like him if you're.
You know what? We're headed to Colorado in a few days. I'll ask him. Hey,
why he just got traded
to
the
he just got
fucking
traded
Braves,
from Colorado.
Dude. Where have you been?
No, Bard.
Oh, I thought you.
No, we're talking about
Pierce
Big
Johnson.
Pierce, Big Johnson.
Yeah, we're not talking about.
We're
Bard.
talking about.
I know,
both
but I said I was going to ask Daniel Bard why he's not throwing the 9th inning.
Well, ask him.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. if you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Someone else that's kind of garnering some trade interest is Justin Verlander of the New York Mets. That would be an interesting trade just because who the fuck would want to take, I don't see that one happening. I don't see a team wanting to take on that salary, and I don't see, because he's got one more year after this, right? Or is it two more?
But I think Uncle Stevie is going to learn a quick lesson on how he's going to have to be comfortable eating some of the dollars that he's thrown out there initially, because he's going to find out real quick, not to say that he didn't know this already, but if you're looking to move any of these dudes, you're going to have to pay for that. You're not just one for one, cross the board, nothing to see here. People are going to be asking you to pay part of that bill. And I think the sooner
that's why it's worth it to just hang on to him. Like, it's Justin Verlander. Like, you're probably, I don't want to say probably, but odds are you're going to get more out of Justin Verlander for keeping him and paying him what you agreed to pay him, which is what, like 43 and change, than if you were to just eat half that so you can offload him to someone else. Like, what if he flips a switch and becomes Justin Verlander? Yeah,
aren't they intending to be good next year too?
Yeah, like they're not like going into a rebuild.
I wonder.
I'm not trading Justin Verlander from.
So, what would Justin Verlander get, putting aside the money that he's owed for the remainder of this year? What do you think a free agent Justin Verlander with a 3.47 ERA, let's just say pitches the rest of the season, is healthy, but with this quality? What is a 3.47 ERA Verlander getting on a 1-year deal?
22 mil.
Oh, wow. I would have taken, I thought it would be like 30. I mean, 40, 45 or whatever is obviously not happening, but I don't know. I was just curious. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but
I was going to say 22 to 25, just because you've had the physical setback this year as well. And that's what everybody was afraid of anyway, right? That's what you're cautious of entering the conversation with him, coming off of the second TJ. We know he's great physically, blah, blah, still susceptible to that though. And it showed up. So moving forward, I feel like, you're like, no, buddy, sorry. The cap here, like 30 a year. I don't think we can do that.
The interesting thing is that, like, I know we covered on a previous podcast that he's pitching better, 2.25 ERA over his last 7, 1.74 ERA over his last 5. But, like, when you step back and look at some of the bigger picture stuff, like, you have to look at the strikeout and the walk rates and be pretty alarmed, I would think, if you're a potential buyer on this one, because
about them heading in opposite directions.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the money owed, which is obviously is going to eliminate a certain percentage of buyers right off the bat. But like, forget like the 30+ strikeout rate. Justin Verlander, he won the Cy Young last year with a 27.8% strikeout rate and a 4.4% walk rate. It's 20.6 and 7.6 this year. Like, it's a completely different mix of strikeouts and walks than it was the previous year. And like, that's a 1-year drop like that is alarming. A 2-year drop where he's gone from 33 to 34, 35, all the way down to 20. I would be extremely hesitant to be investing in Verlander if it costs you both money and prospects.
That's a trend is what that becomes. Trending down.
Well, I mean, he's fucking 50, so
yeah, it's not unexpected, but like it's happening on the Mets watch, so it's relevant for them, which is sadly predictable. It feels like, but I don't know. He's succeeding.
Tough series loss for the Mets at Fenway this past weekend. By the way, that was tough. It was tough to watch that happen. To trot Max Scherzer out there and have him get fed to the buzzsaw that is Tristan Casas. Took him deep twice, which I believe the first rookie to homer off of Scherzer in twice in the same game ever. You know, just little distinctions that you want to point out. Give credit where credit's due. This was weird. Did you see this in the rundown, Jay Hay, about the Angels media?
Yes, I did.
Oh, Twitter officially changed to X. It's official. I just saw it. That's so fucking stupid.
So dumb.
Anyways,
I love how there's like universal agreement on that. It's like the first thing that's ever brought 100% of people together.
Yeah.
is that it's stupid.
It's like, what are we doing here?
Anyway,
Like,
yeah, this Angel
like
stuff.
you would like
Shut
it.
the fuck up.
Yeah, it's fucking so stupid. It's Twitter, dude. No,
I
it's
think
X.
sick, yo. It's
X. Like, if you did like a new thing, fine. But like, Twitter's Twitter. Like, everyone's
Got
still
the-
gonna call it Twitter.
It's got the edginess of a middle schooler.
Yeah. This tweet is from Luca Evans. The Angels media gathered today at Angel Stadium for a group picture to commemorate today, in case today is the last home game at Angel Stadium of Shohei Ohtani's career. Strange realization to have. I don't think it's a strange realization to have. I think it's a strange thing to congregate all the media and take a picture on the field just to be like, hey, just in case, this could have been Shohei's last game at Angel Stadium as an Angel. Like, that's fucking weird. Is that not weird?
Hold on.
That's weird, Dallas. I know you're going to try to defend this. It's fucking weird.
No. Just, I need you to say this again. My brain needs to hear it again.
I'm going to read it one more time.
Please.
Angels media gathered
Right.
today at Angel Stadium for a group picture to commemorate today, in case today is the last home game at Angel Stadium of Shohei Ohtani's career. Strange realization to have.
That, I don't even know what to make of that.
That's
absurd.
You're supposed to
That's
be
absurd.
unbiased. You're supposed to be the media. That's not very journalistic in integrity of you. Like, imagine like if you're covering like the president and you're just like, oh, we're gathering outside here. It's like, you know, could be Joe Biden's last day in office. It's like, okay, you're just supposed to cover.
No, see, like that makes much more sense to me. Is like that in its.
But then you're
it's
just
a president,
revealing your bias, no?
No, because it's the president, and like that person or not like that person, you know, there's people who still revere the office to a certain extent and respect the office to a certain extent. So while you're done covering this administration, that's what this photo is marking, is the end of your coverage of this administration. So it's almost like they're saying, well, this is the end of the Ohtani administration, and we want to save the date of the, like that doesn't, I don't know. It's weird to me. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, do you do this for every player that you could very well never cover again as a home player? Like, no.
Okay. So I have a practical question / observation about this. The picture itself from the tweet, like, there's probably a large percentage of this media that goes to Angel Stadium every day that is only there for Shohei Ohtani, right? Like, that's kind of part of
that's fair.
Okay, so hold on.
Like, I think that's baked into this conversation here is like some of these people, if Ohtani leaves, are never coming back.
Well, the Japanese media contingency. All right.
Right.
There's
Right.
two very
That's
different.
mostly what I'm getting at.
So yeah, like
Yes.
if Jeff Fletcher of the Orange County Register and you know like if Fletch and all these other people are beating that same drum along with them, then that's where I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
different.
that's a little weird.
Different. But if we're talking about the Japanese contingency, that when players like Shohei Ohtani end up coming over, or players like Ichiro end up coming over, those people's lives are forever changed because they've now been asked to uproot what they've got going on in their home, in their country, and you're now going to go to America and you're going to go follow this dude around everywhere he goes. Sound good? And when you embark on that with other people, you kind of form your own team of sorts. Like, you're a group now, right? For better or worse, you know what kind of grind you're going through day in and day out, having to adhere to all of the Ohtani rules and protocol, and when you're going to get to speak to him. And like, dude, with Fuji, Shitaro Fujinami, when he was with us, I told you I did a lot of Japanese media. a lot, and they just want to know everything about these guys. So when you go through something like that together, and it's something that not everybody else can really understand or explain, because I don't know how many members of the U.S. media have just uprooted and moved to Japan or moved to the fucking Middle East or wherever, I don't know, and followed an athlete to this extent that Ohtani gets followed, that I watched Hideki Matsui in my own clubhouse get followed, that I watched Ichiro. Like, this shit is bananas. It is bananas. So it's an experience that U.S. media members don't necessarily have.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there are clearly U.S. media members taking part in this photo, but my assumption here is that it is the international media who are probably realizing that this might be the last time that all of these people are together, or they're all together in Angel Stadium. Hey, let's all take a picture. Let's commemorate the moment just in case. And if I'm an American media member who is being asked that, or like somebody's mentioning it to me, I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yep,
like,
I'm in.
I think it's one of those things that doesn't translate once the photo is there for public external consumption. But I think if my assumption is correct on what this is, or like the impetus for it, I think it's pretty harmless.
Well, yeah,
I think it's kind of sweet, actually.
Yeah, that's why you listen to our podcast, and I give you that breakdown that I just gave you on why it is different. Because when you go into opening day in 2018, when Ohtani bursts onto the scene and he's dealing in the Coliseum, there were, I believe it was 225. I know because, sorry about it, humble brag, I bought lunch for all of the Japanese media members because there are so many of them there, and all of their equipment and stuff is just lined up in the press box, like all along the wall. They're trying to find space, right? Because there's seats that are reserved for certain media outlets, and people are just trying to fucking file in and plug in and be somewhere. And it is it's just a crazy scene. Crazy scene. So I can understand them wanting to save that.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But if it's people from like the San Francisco Chronicle and the Oakland Tribune who are like, hey, it looks like this Cespedes guy is getting traded. You guys just want to file down to the field, snap one last pick. I mean, it was fun, wasn't it? Well, that's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what's the picture look like? I haven't even seen the picture.
There's a lot of people. Like, there's like, I'm counting heads here. Like, you're probably looking at like close to 30 people, maybe. So, but that could be the case. Yeah. Interesting. Well,
yeah. Well, there's your context.
Yeah.
If you have an issue with the photo, there's your context.
Yeah. All right. I think Joey is going to have issue with this next debate. So I hate to say it, Joe, but there's a chance Freddie Freeman is kind of closing in on Ronald Acuña Jr. for his National League MVP.
Says who?
Says the numbers. I think he's passed him in OPS plus, slugging. Yeah, I don't think that it's not an open and shut case anymore on Ronald Acuña Jr. in the National League MVP.
Yeah, he's hot.
It's not just hot. We're talking about the
win.
whole season now. Ronald Acuña Jr. Where's Freddie Freeman here? Frederick Freeman. So Freddie Freeman is hitting 331. Acuna is hitting 332. Freddie Freeman's on base percentage 412. Acuna 409. Freddie Freeman's slug 585. Acuna 577. Freddie's OPS 997. Ronnie 986. Where else are we going here? Let's get some counting stats going.
More RBIs for Fred.
Just give me the WAR. What's the WAR, Jared? That's the end all be all.
I know you don't believe
Who's leading in that?
Very close.
We know who's leading in that.
It's not by much.
Yeah, it's
not by much.
But if it were to end today,
if
voting
Ronald
were to
Acuña Jr. 5.1 to 4.9. Like the gap has closed. The gap has closed. Doubles, Freddie Freeman, 35, Ronnie, 26. Homers, Freddie, 20, Ronnie, 23. Runs, 85 to 87 in favor of Ronnie. RBI, 70 to 58 in favor of Freeman. Walks, they've both walked 49 times. Total bases, they both have exactly 228 total bases.
They're both pretty much neck and neck, except for Acuna has 46 steals.
That's the difference.
Where's Freddie at on that list?
That's the difference is the stolen bases. They have the exact same number of total bases. Like they are fucking almost deadlocked. It's like even the WAR is not that much of a gap as a separator. Like right now, the separator is the stolen bases.
Freddie's been on base 186 times. Ronnie, 184.
Yeah, that's crazy. They are fucking neck and neck right now. I think, and I'll tell you right now, if the season ended today, I'm still voting for Acuna. I give him the slight edge because of the wins above replacement and because of the stolen bases, but that's really it. Everything else across the board, it's like the call in the field stands. Like we think it's Ronald Acuña Jr., so that's the call in the field, and then you go look at the tape and you're like, there's not enough to overturn. Like that's where we're at on this MVP race.
And honestly, if it ended today, Acuna would win in the vote by a lot just because of the steals. It's almost like, because it's just a completely different category. It's like they're both really good at offense. They're both pretty much similar, at least according to defensive WAR and defense, I guess. But one of them can lead the league in steals. So Acuna would win it by a lot.
I think you're right that Acuna would win it by a lot if the vote was held today. But I also think it's not just the steals. I also think it's that people have had this award pushed off to the side for a long time now. Like I think, me included, like I thought the gap between Acuna, like once Corbin Carroll, like I know Corbin Carroll had his moment, but like once that run kind of faded a couple of months ago relative to Acuna, like I didn't think anybody was going to be able to close the gap, in part because you're talking about a guy who was threatening 40-70 or whatever pace he was on at one point. But like, I cannot believe how close it is. And, to your point about what the voting would look like now, like I looked it up on DraftKings right when Jared brought the topic up. Right now, Acuna is still minus 550 to win the NL MVP. And they have an option right now where you can get any other player for plus 390. Freeman happens to be
I don't know how you don't take Freddie right now. I don't know how you don't
Freddie
jump
by himself
all
is
over
plus
that.
700. By himself is plus 700. I don't know. I'm not giving gambling advice. All I'm saying is that like there is a gap between what all the stats that Jared just rattled off. But there's a gap between what Jared just rattled off in terms of the stats and what the books are saying is likely, and I think what Joey is correctly identifying as what the actual voting trend would be right now. I'm curious to see whether Freddie can close that gap over the remainder of the season because Acuna also has the sex factor, right? Like he's arguably the most popular consensus player in the game other than Ohtani. And I don't know that matters with the media necessarily, but I think Freddie has a larger gap to overcome than the numbers might suggest.
I mean, it's the epitome of Freddie Freeman's career where he's been on fire all year, being a beast, and no one notices. And this past 7 games or whatever it is, he's raised his OPS by like 40 points. The guy's on another world right now. Do I think he's going to keep it up? I don't know. I think Ronald Acuna might be biased, is going to win. It's the same thing with Corbin Carroll when he had a hot couple weeks and everyone's like, oh shit, it's like basically tied now. Oh my God. But I don't know. I think Acuna is going to run away with it. But I'm biased. I do want to shout out Freddie Freeman though, because even though everyone says I hate him and his family on the podcast, I don't.
You do.
And I respect him as a player and as an athlete.
Sure,
and I still,
Joe. Sure.
I still think after all of this, I mean, how many years can you be called underrated before it's like, all right, you're not really underrated. Everyone just says you're underrated. But I still think Freddie Freeman is very underrated, goes under the radar. Like all year, he's been a beast and doesn't get the same amount of attention. Because he's not as sexy. I agree, Jay. Hey, if I had to fuck one of
he's
them,
very unsexy.
Yeah.
If I had to fuck
he's
one
like,
of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I
agree, Jay. We're on board with that.
He is as unsexy as a great player can be. That's just what it is. The other cool thing about Freddie is that, like, you can argue that he's had his best. He's better after turning 30 than he was before turning 30. Like, he's still putting. Everybody's like, "Oh, Freddie will be in decline." Like, I'm sure that was part of why the Braves let him walk initially to begin with. Like, he's so good. This season might end up one of his 2 or 3 best seasons of his whole career. He's 33.
You know what else people aren't talking about, though, is the fact that Freddie Freeman's stolen base percentage is better than Ronald Acuña Jr.'s. People are not talking about that nearly enough.
Freddie efficient in his decision making.
Yes.
I don't know. Earlier in the year, I don't know if it still stands, but he did lead the Dodgers in steals.
I'm sure he still does.
That's so funny.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he does. James Outman is next with 10.
Let's go.
Freddie Freeman having 5 more stolen bases than Mookie Betts is so counterintuitive, given how those people have built their careers.
Man, I don't know. I think that this race is going to be a lot more tightly contested than we're giving it credit right now.
Wait. In what sense? Like,
I think
because I feel like we're all like now.
The sentiment about 10 minutes ago is that even with the statistics as tight as they are, that it's still going to be a blowout for Acuna in the voting.
I think if the vote was held, I thought Joey was saying if the vote was held today. I think if Freddie can continue to keep up with Acuna over the rest of the season, and they basically end in a dead heat, then I think the actual voting would be very close. I still think, I think it's incumbent upon Freddie to clearly outproduce Ronald Acuna at this point. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. But
does the 40-50 do anything for you?
It definitely does something. Yeah. That's going to be really hard to overcome if Ronald Acuna has 40 homers and 50 stolen bases and Freddie Freeman finishes with like 28 homers.
Yeah, well, Ronnie is going to have fucking 60 bags and could very well get to 40 homers. And if that's the case, I think the shine of that, almost like the Triple Crown, kind of overshadows what everybody else might be looking at.
I'm gonna have to fucking do a graphic. That's what I'm gonna do after this podcast. I'm gonna sit here because my fucking upload is at 7%, so I'm gonna have to sit here for the next 9 goddamn hours for that to upload. And I'm gonna make a little graphic on these statistics, and we're gonna let the world know how close this really is, because no one else is talking about this. This was not a subject that I saw somewhere else. I just kind of like took a little look at the statistics this morning, and I was like, wait a fucking second. Like, I've been led astray. I've been led to believe that Ronald Acuña Jr. was moonwalking to the finish line on this MVP award, and lo and behold, Freddie Freeman was out here not just catching up, but making it almost neck and neck. So we'll have that discussion on Twitter.com, or excuse me, X, where I guarantee you it's going to be very civil. Everyone's going to come to the table with their thoughts and opinions, and they're going to respect the opinions of others, because that's what X is all about. But what Blue Moon is all about, it's about playoff rituals and how they're just right around the corner with the playoffs in October. It's time to help your team out by sticking to your lucky rituals, like the ritual of enjoying an ice-cold Blue Moon while the game is on. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Make it your one-of-a-kind baseball tradition, whether you're at the park or watching from home. Dallas, I know I don't know how you feel about this. Where do you stand on the movie Titanic, Dallas?
What do you mean? Where do I stand on the movie Titanic? I'm a huge. You know this.
I know that you're, but like it's almost like
question?
people will ask me like, how do you feel about Fever Pitch as a Red Sox fan? It's like, well, a lot of Red Sox fans don't love Fever Pitch. As a Titanic guy, some people may not like the movie Titanic. They might be like Titanic snobs may not like it.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie Titanic.
So hypothetically speaking, if I hosted a Titanic movie watch party at like a drive-in movie theater type setting, and we invited people to do a watch along, can I count on you to be there?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because we'll be drinking Blue Moons while we're watching Titanic. Jay, hey, are you a Titanic guy?
Yeah, I just rewatched it. It was on like Paramount or something like 3 weeks ago. Didn't know it was on, didn't have any plans to watch, just sat down and took in the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I took in the whole movie and then like the first 25 minutes of the next showing.
Oh.
Bro, one of yeah, it was probably one of the top 5 ass whoopings I saw my friend take. Me and 2 other buddies were cutting school, and we were in his living room watching Titanic. All right. And Titanic comes on, and he catches a fucking ass whooping from his mom because she comes in, and we're all 3 on the couch, and it's like pivotal moment in the movie, right? Like they're starting to climb up from the bottom. Like you get an idea they're about to lock Jack and the homies in the cage. Like shit is not good for his people. And his mom walks in, and she's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?" We're like, "Oh, bro, your mom." And me and one homie jump up off the couch, gone. We're running because we were all comfortable enough where if she would have got her hands on us, it was going to be us. So that just, again, you don't have to be the fastest guy in the group, just got to be faster than the slowest guy in the group. And our homie happened to be the slow guy that day. And he got snatched the fuck up and wore the fuck out by his mom.
Terrible.
With 3 dudes in high school, cutting school, just taking in Titanic. No big deal.
Yeah. Titanic is a great movie. And that's why, we're going to try and organize that. Jake's on it. We're going to do a Titanic watch party at a drive-in movie theater somewhere, maybe Kowloon. But I know that we'll be serving Blue Moons because we're not doing it without Blue Moon. That's just a fact. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful, bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon. You can enjoy it all season long. Brighten up your baseball traditions with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's a one-of-a-kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket to find Blue Moon delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. I just want, if we do it at a drive-in movie theater, I just want to just be posing in front of Rose's boobs when that scene happens. I just want a picture of Rose's big boobs above my head.
No, maybe we should reenact the scene where Jack paints Rose, and you could just lay down on a couch somewhere. Maybe you could lay down on the hood of the car, and I'll sit in front of you in a lawn chair, and I could just draw you topless.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. That's one idea. You know what else we could do? We could put a keyhole, like an old iron grate keyhole, in a pool, and drop a key, and we have to and with get waves going or something, and we have to see who can go underwater and open the grate first. With that, you remember that scene?
Go back down the main stairwell.
Go back.
Or we all 5 was get into a small metal tube and then submerge underneath the water go as deep as we can until it implodes and we all die together. As it's
I love that. That'd be great.
We check with the wife, but there should be an issue.
Yeah. She might not be down, but it's worth an ask.
Yeah, I don't think she's coming, but she'll probably let me go.
Jesus Christ. Next up on the docket here, we had an electric debut in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the call, because that was there was a few. He went fucking 3 for 3, but let's catch.
There's Arcia, former Brewer, goes to right center field. Long run for Perkins and for Frelick. Frelick does it again! A jaw-dropping debut on defense for the Frelick family. Lexington, Mass's own. Boston stand up for the catch. Wow.
Sal Frelick, baby. Boston's own. Lexington, shout out. Brew Crew, baby. How do you not talk about this kid and the debut that he had? Get up there. BC's finest. I was talking to his former coach. Just took a new job. Coach Gambino. And I said, I was like, you must be proud as hell. And he said, so awesome. So proud of him. So happy for him. Yeah, BC.
Well, and what's fucked up is he was supposed to be here, like he was supposed to be called up a while ago, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been a guy for them
ago.
for like 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is.
No, but what's called was hurt. Garrett Mitchell got hurt.
Yep.
This is back in April.
Yep.
Garrett Mitchell got hurt.
On like a throw.
And that same night, Sal Frelick got hurt. Jacked his thumb up. So Garrett Mitchell goes down. It's probably going to be Sal Frelick who's on his way to the big leagues. Instead, Frelick down, banged up thumb, so he has to wait. And then he shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And just fucking rakes. Just does it all. Just an incredible display.
Mm-hmm.
An incredible display.
He's really cool. I don't think we didn't interview him, right? No. No. Okay. So I met him just like on a Zoom. It probably like during COVID. Like I was like talking to Gambino and he's like, oh yeah, he's like Sal Frelick's here just working out at like it was after he had gotten drafted by the Brewers, but he was at BC just like working out. He's like, yeah, you want to talk to him? And I was like, yeah. He's
sure.
Like I end up like talking to him for like a half hour. Definitely someone that we could get on the podcast at some point. That'd be really cool. Speaking of the Brewers, Jay, hey, there is someone that plays the Milwaukee Brewers that's really interested in making a podcast appearance sometime in the near future to collect his flowers. So we'll see. The choice is his. I told him when we record, and he wants to make an appearance, perhaps his sixth in the franchise history. So we'll see what he says in terms of when he wants to come on. But had
that
to
is
show
the number
some
one
love.
priority in my life.
Yeah, your first ever Baines Meter segment with a member of the Baines Meter Club. But had to show some love to Sal Frelick for his Major League debut, going off, waited all his life for that moment, capitalized, and what a night it was for the Frelick family who were out there in attendance in Milwaukee. Great call, by the way. Was that fucking, what's his name? Joe Davis? Not Joe Davis. Who's the fucking dude for the Dodgers?
It's. I don't think it's him.
Who's the Dodgers guy that's really good that everyone loves? Is his name Joe Davis?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
his name? Okay. I'm just thinking, I get confused because there was a Red Sox prospect that was kind of built like Evan Gattis and everyone loved him and they called him Big Joe Davis. So I'm just like, wait, I get it. They're the same name. Okay. Got it. I thought that Jay Hay was going to go in this direction for his what happened over the weekend type deal. Cody Bellinger, baby. Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
I tweeted it yesterday. I'll tweet it again. is going to fetch a prospect haul that is greater than the one that Shohei Ohtani's about to fetch. This dude, since June 27th, the last month, for a straight month, Cody Bellinger is leading the majors in batting. He's hitting .443. He's third in on-base percentage, .469. He's fourth in slugging, .739. And an OPS, .1207. On the entire season, he's now hitting .319 with a .918 OPS on the year. And that is included. He probably went like a good fucking month and a half without hitting a single home run. And he still has a .918 OPS.
Can we back up a second?
Sure.
Before we, I mean, I'm more than willing to take an L on Cody Bellinger, but I cannot let pass the first thing that you said. What is the thinking behind Cody Bellinger garnering a larger prospect haul than Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, that's a joke in the industry.
Oh. I thought you were coming in like. I thought that was.
That's about as hot as you could come in. No,
Yeah,
I would have just turned my computer off if he said that and was serious and like was looking for a genuine response.
On that one.
I mean, I expect that from like fucking John Heyman, not from you, Jay.
Jesus.
No, that was. I didn't.
Hold on.
Well, listen, I'm taking L on Bellinger's left and right on this, I guess. But
is my comedic genius too genius for people? Like, I feel like there's a lot of times I'll tweet things that just could not be more of a joke, and people will be like, "What did I tweet the other day?" I think like I tweeted that, and people thought I was serious. Like, dude, or no, someone dug up a tweet from last year, about Garrett Cole. Like, he had like one bad start. And I was like, oh man, like maybe now's the time to pull the trigger on a Garrett Cole trade. Maybe like a bad contract for bad contract situation. Maybe you try and flip him for Anthony Rendon or something like that. And Yankee fans yesterday were like taking a victory lap because he like shut down the fucking Kansas City Royals. And they're like, oh, how do you feel about Garrett Cole now, dude? Wow, old takes exposed. Are you shitting me? You really thought we were going to trade Garrett Cole for Anthony Rendon? Wow. How stupid do you feel? There is a lot of irony in the responses to my tweets. I will say that.
That's a win. You trolled him. You got him.
Yeah, guy got the ass.
To go back to Bellinger, though, I have to admit, still a little perplexed as to like how this is happening. That doesn't mean it's not happening, nor does it mean I'm not wrong. It just means like looking at the numbers, other than the ones that you rattled off, which are obviously very good and says he is very good, like it's just happening in such kind of a bizarre way. Like he's still not hitting the ball hard. Like it doesn't really matter what metric you use, whether it's hard hit or average exit velocity or whatever. Like he's much, much closer to the bottom of the league than he is towards the top of the league.
It's the lowest exit velocity he's experienced in his career.
Yeah, and it's not just and it's low for him, but it's low within the context of Major League Baseball too. He's popping up at a very high rate. Like he's having a ton of success on soft contact. Like I looked this up the other day because I knew we would get to this at some point, and I'm like, I was genuinely like a little confused as to why he's having such a great season. But he's having like as Baseball Savant classifies the hits as like, poorly hit or a flare burner or not hard hit or whatever. Like he is having some of the most success on those type of batted balls in Major League Baseball, and he's never had that success on those type of batted balls before. It's very weird.
It's his second lowest, or it's his second highest. Actually, it's his third highest line drive rate of his career. 30% line drive rate in 2019. 2020, it was 27.5. This year, it's 27% line drive rate. Outside of that, it's been as low as 22%.
But that doesn't, like, to me, that doesn't, that just asks more questions, because if his line drive rate is essentially the same as it was last season, why is he much better this season? He was garbage.
No, Jay, it's not. It's not. Last year was quite literally the lowest.
Oh, I thought you said 27.
No, this year it's 27%. In 2020, it was 27.5%. Last year,
well, he wasn't good
22.
in 2020 either. Like, I guess, I don't know. Like, I just think it, and he's having lots of success on off-speed pitches, but now he's hitting heaters in July. Like, some of this is balls in play. Like Luck, he was really bad on balls in play for the previous 2 years. He's much better. I don't know. Like, it's like if I was I guess the point of this is that if I was an acquiring team saying I want to add Cody Bellinger for the stretch run, I know I'm getting a player that's going to help me. I'm just, the way he's getting to these numbers, I think it's not good or bad. It's just a little unusual, I think, within the context of his career and overall.
The shift's got to have something to do with it, right? The shift, I'm looking at his hit chart. I'm seeing a lot of hits.
But think about the last 2 years. The last 2 years, Cody Bellinger has just been a fucking punch-out waiting to happen, right? Just been a complete and total punch-out. And now that strikeout rate has gone from 27% to 17%, 16.7 to be specific. So you're talking about a 10% decline in the strikeout rate. That's a big part of putting the ball in play. You put the ball in play, what happens? Good things. Good things happen. So you're now talking about not swinging and missing as much, which means more balls in play. So you call it luck on balls in play, or the category, the statistic is he's getting luckier on balls in play. And I would argue that that's all part of how you play this game, is if you put the ball in play, good things can happen. So Cody Bellinger went from being just a fucking automatic wipeout to now putting the ball in play. And when he's done so, good shit has happened.
So here's some specifics on the two things that you guys are talking about with balls in play. His balls in play this year ranks 57th out of 191 batters. Last year, it ranked 148th.
There you go. You could quite literally stop there for me.
But Joey brought up the ground balls too, so I wanted to get to that. His batting average on balls in play on ground balls was 186 across 21-22, and it is over 300 so far this season. So 120 points of batting average on ground balls. Just as interesting to me, and which doesn't quite get explained by the shift, is the fact that his slugging on fly balls is up like 400 points from where it was across 21-22. So it's like
he's in bombs.
I'd encourage anyone who is into these kind of stats to pull up Cody Bellinger's page and have a fucking field day, because every single thing that you look at, seriously, every single thing that you look at is interesting for some reason, because he's at the top or the bottom, or he's way better than he was last year. And just one final thing, that batting average on balls in play improvement is the 10th highest in Major League Baseball from 22 to 23. So it is significant within the context of all BABIP changes in Major League Baseball. It's not just, the shift happened, so Cody Bellinger is better. He is improving within the context of all of Major League Baseball.
Jay, what if I told you that Cody Bellinger, at this point right now, whether the ball is in the strike zone or out of the strike zone, that Cody Bellinger is making more contact with the baseball than he's ever made in his entire fucking life? Fact.
So has anybody asked Cody Bellinger about this? Like, this would be a great...
You know what? I think it's a pretty simple conversation to have. I had one with Lucas Giolito. It went just like this. Hey, Giolites, you ever thought about not giving up more runs than anybody in baseball and not walking more people than anybody in baseball? I feel like if you got away from doing that, you could be better. And he was like, you know what, dude? I feel like you're right, and we're going to give that a go. And things got so much better for Lucas Giolito after he quit giving up more runs than anybody and quit walking everybody. So it could be as simple as, hey, dude, you're not hitting the ball. Thoughts on hitting the ball? Like, thoughts on just putting it back in play? What do you think? And now you make an adjustment, and you're starting to get to pitches, and you start to figure out how to move a little differently. And now you can get to pitches with authority that you might have just been an hour late on before. But it all goes back to putting the baseball in play. That's what matters. And he is doing that more so than he's ever done before. Coming into this year, his highest contact rate was 78.9%. And yeah, 79%. What is it this year? It's 80%. You're going, Dallas, that doesn't sound like a big gap at all. Well, in zone contact, highest it's ever been, 83%. This year, it's 85%.
But so you're telling me the Dodgers were never like, hey, dude, put the ball in play?
I'm telling you that there was probably more stock put in Cody Bellinger hitting the ball as hard as he possibly could in play.
Sure.
And for that, there was probably some bat to ball sacrificed. And when you get away from just trying to hit the ball as hard as humanly possible, and you start to, like we've seen many future Hall of Famers, cut down their swing per game situation and put the ball in play. I've watched Miguel Cabrera hit balls 500 feet pull side. I've watched him hit balls 480 oppo. And I've also watched him hit a 57 hopper through the hole on the right side because that's what the game has given him. And when you start to value putting the ball in play, I think good things can happen. I know good things can happen. And maybe, just maybe, it's a matter of Cody Bellinger also saying, because the shift is what it is, and I do have a hole open, the reason I was trying to go death from above and hit the fucker into the next county is because I got 7 guys on the right side of the infield knocking shit down. I can hit a ball 105 miles an hour, and it's on one hop to the guy playing fucking rover in right field. What do I have to show for that? Nothing. Oh, but look at my hard hit rate. Fucking sexy. But now I'm trying to hit it 500 feet and I'm swinging and missing. And I got guys like Jay Hay telling me I'm shit because I can't barrel the ball up.
I think it was just me. I mean, when you put up when you put up those numbers, everybody's telling you you're shit.
Well, I know. I just
where I was unfortunate was where I said he would not be good again. What I really dodged the bullet on was saying that he wouldn't be an all-star again, and he just happened to time his season perfectly to avoid getting selected as an all-star. So,
yeah, because 2 weeks,
2023
down
the road, a few more seasons to go. Yeah, all right.
Don't worry, Jay Hay, because Bellinger goes to the Yankees, he's going to get cursed immediately and suck even worse than he ever has. So let's just pray the Yankees don't trade for Cody Bellinger, because that will ruin him. Belly balls in play needs to stay in Chicago or I don't know where else, but not New York. We don't need that.
They do ruin people. They really do. Like, I'm not even trolling. Players with immense talent go to New York and they just get drained of their soul because of that place. Fucking Drake. Drake came out last night with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. And like my first thought was like, I'm worried about Judge's toe. Stanton, you see him running around the bases last night? It looked like he was running with fucking cement cleats on. Like, these guys need to worry about their health. They can't be like walking down 16 flights of stairs with Drake. Like, have some perspective. No. It was bad. Did you see Judge taking batting practice?
Heard about it.
No, I did not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say, I mean, it is what he was facing Loizica, who's trying to come back as well. And I think it was like,
oh, well, there was no swings though, right?
No, there were swings.
Just tracking pitches.
No, there were swings. Did not hit a ball forward. I think he took like 15 swings and fouled off 5 balls. I mean, he hasn't fucking seen flying pitching in a while. And
it's again. I mean, if you're trying to rotate on a toe that they're telling you could take a couple years, I mean, shit.
Yeah. Don't talk about my guy. We didn't do our parlay. Let's do the parlay. The baseball is dead parlay for the DraftKings Sportsbook. The first leg. By the way, how did I not get credit? I fucking threw my Hail Mary pick for the last parlay and drilled it. I said Shohei Ohtani's hitting a home run tonight. He hit a home run.
I think the problem here is that we're not going to get the credit we want until we all 4 get the parlay correct.
We did do that. We hit one.
No, one. No. We definitely did. That's our one and only right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem. I think people are not inclined to give individual members of the podcast credit when the parlay overall loses.
I get that. But
it's
all
the
I'm
ugly
saying
truth.
is if we go back and tally up
You just
pick percentage.
You can't be the king of 3 out of 4. You can't do that. You can't. That
if we
people
go
aren't
back
here
and
for
look
that.
at pick percentage for the baseball is dead parlay, I guarantee you I have the highest pick percentage for the baseball is dead
Jake,
parlay.
please
We're a
look into
team.
that.
We're a team. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
just
coming
such
to
a-
history.
I'm an eye
right
guy.
now.
I'm an
No,
eye
and
guy.
I've had
Would love to get
multiple-
the
and
real
I've had-
stats on that for Wednesday. if we can.
Please, if there's
I've
a
had
way to figure
multiple
that out,
picks.
I'm pretty confident that I'm the fucking
Of course
leader in
there
the
is.
clubhouse.
Yeah.
No, we can just keep that going. We can just keep running top of that, and at the end of the year, the losers should have to buy the winner. You guys could buy me a jersey.
The jersey. This fucking guy. This guy's got a fucking closet full of jerseys that he won for not doing anything.
Not true.
I would, yeah. Joey definitely has the
Fuck
worst
around, pay the
percentage,
piper.
so I'm not even worried. He can't even catch me at this
Shut
point.
the fuck.
There's no fucking
up.
chance you don't have the worst percentage.
Somebody sent me. Did you guys get this DM? Someone sent me a spreadsheet with all the picks.
All right, tell him
Like
to
the
send it to
percentages.
someone that's actually going to let it see the light of day. Because if it's you,
Tell them to
has
send it to me because I'm not the only
No,
one who's
no. Dallas
you
will
can trust
manipulate.
to not
Send
edit
it to
this.
me. If you have the information, send it to me. Dallas will manipulate it. Joey will never release it. Jay Hay has honor and integrity.
The
But
problem is my DMs.
Are closed.
Elon's restricted my DMs. I get blown up too much.
Yeah.
Probably no room.
yeah, so you can send them to me, and I will. We'll discuss them on the podcast. Anyways, the first pick for this week's Baseball is Dead parlay on the DraftKings Sportsbook belongs to young Joseph, who is really struggling to get back in this.
I don't think that's the case. I know I got last week right. We haven't done it in like 4 weeks, but I got the one before that right too.
Okay, go ahead. What's your pick?
Everyone knows I picked the sick pick, and I picked Mookie to get a hit, and he got a hit. So I'm coming
Mike
up next this week.
Moustakas.
Mike Mookie Moustakas got a hit, like
Yeah,
I said, and
he
this
did.
week I'm coming up with
Also,
another guy
you're
to get a
lucky.
hit.
You're lucky because that game went into extras and he got a hit in like the 10th. Still counts, but
You're right. That's it still counts. Anyway, this week
this week,
I'm targeting the Phillies. They're facing Mr. Kramer
for
for the
Cream
Baltimore Orioles.
Yep.
from the
He's-
209.
Yep, you gotta show respect to the 209. However, unlike other pitchers from the 209, struggles against lefties. And when you're facing the Phillies, you're facing a plethora. All right. So I'm going with Kyle Schwarber to get a hit. He's undervalued right now. Schwarber's going to get a hit. I think he can get that for minus 205. Schwarber, 1 over, 1 hit.
Just one hit.
No, Schwarber, 1 hit.
Schwarber to get a hit. Okay. Dallas.
You know, we chatted briefly about the Cincinnati Reds. We chatted very briefly. I think I like the Reds over the Brew Crew. I think I like Graham Ashcraft
Wow.
over Colin Ray.
Wow.
And I think it's because Ashcraft has thrown the ball extremely well his last few times around, and there's no reason to not continue to try to ride that wave. I think the Reds realize that their season right now is staring them directly in the face, and they need to make some moves.
Wow.
And Ashcraft is going to be the guy to get that ball rolling here.
Okay.
Got to happen. You got to be strong on the road. They're going to lean on Ashcraft. So I am giving you the Cincinnati Reds
Mm-hmm.
minus 105
Mm-hmm.
money line.
Okay. Jay Hay.
Padres to beat the Pirates.
I mean, Jesus, Jay Hay. You fucking. Now I dropped my pin. Fuck.
Go back to what works, and that's the Pirates taking L's.
Dallas, do you have any rebuttal to that?
No, because I'm dealing with fucking. No. It's just
Yeah.
madness right
No, he's
minus 2. I mean, see, it's stuff like it's like there's just take away from the value of what we're trying to do here. That's fine.
we're trying to win a goddamn parlay.
Yeah.
Okay. getting saddled with Graham Ashcraft props.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a little safe here. Take the Padres to beat the fucking sunken ship.
Trying to make
I'm pretty
money
sure,
for these
correct me if
people.
I'm wrong, Jay Hay, Dallas was the only one that didn't hit on the last parlay.
You'd be correct.
Yes. Dallas.
Yeah,
holding
and
us back.
if you understand why the bet was worth what it was worth, you can thank me. You can thank me.
We're not thanking you. You lost, dude. And you
I know.
picked
Well, you
Jesus
can blame
Luzardo.
Luzardo for that. You can blame
bet-
Luzardo for that.
You bet with your dick, not with
Well,
your
he
brain.
punched out 7 or more fucking 4 games in a row and then decides to punch out 2. There's nothing I can do about
Yeah, I know.
that.
There's nothing you can
I'm
do.
not calling
There
the
is something you
pitches.
can do about it. It's make better picks.
I'm not on the pitch com.
It's really not that hard.
I do agree with
Trends.
Dallas. If you make a bet and it's wrong, it's really not your fault. It's the player's fault every single time.
Thank you, Joey.
It's the
Thank you.
player.
I mean, you act like I wouldn't want to go out and perform for them.
Yeah.
Clearly I would.
Yeah. All right. I am going Corbin Carroll, 2+ total bases. The D-backs are going up against Adam Wainwright in his 7.66 ERA. Corbin Carroll is 4th in the majors in slugging percentage against right-handed pitching since June 1st. Goes Shohei, Seager, Arenado, Corbin Carroll. 682 slug against right-handed pitching, 4th best in the big leagues. So Corbin Carroll, 2+ total bases for me, please.
Let's go. I got the numbers. If you guys want to hear them, what we're doing individually, and we can rank. We can really check the numbers here, and I'll go by from worst parlay picker to best parlay picker. Last place in parlay picks, unfortunately, is me. Right now, I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5.
Okay.
Which is a .444 batting average, which would be first in MLB in batting average, but last in this case.
Right.
Now, Jay Hay, you are actually second to last.
Wow.
And you are, last pick, did that get right? You got that one right, Jay Hay?
Yes, that was it. It took till the next day, but I did get that right.
Okay, so that one's not in here. So actually, it's even better. It's even better than thought. So you are better than me. You got 5 out of whatever. Okay, I got 4 right. Jay Hay got 5 right. Now, first place. Looks like we got a tie, fellas.
Wow.
Jared Carabas, Dallas Braden are tied. They've hit 5. So actually, you're all tied. So it's a 3-way tie at first.
How? Are you counting? Are you counting his miss and my hit last time?
Yeah, we're just going batting average, dude. I know you got a home run pick. That was really good odds, whatever. We're not counting that shit. We're just doing fucking, batting average because it's a parlay, all right? We're not, parlay. You take the safe route. It's just as good as going the high route because the odds are going to be good.
So 3 5 and 4s and 1 4 and 5, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, and I had I had a parlay. I had a bet that we did not put in. Because
why would anybody care about that?
Yeah. Also, I made a bet 3 weeks ago that I hit. If you want to count that towards the baseball is dead parlay.
No, I'm
I dominated my wife in rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
The other day.
that counts as a win.
So epic, man.
No.
Does that count?
No, I'm fucking no. It's not going down like this. I'm looking for this motherfucking.
I don't know what you're looking for.
None of the listeners care about the bets that won only you money.
This is fucking
unbelievable.
Actually, it's funny, guys. If we're giving ourselves a lot of shit for not being right, we're actually up 1 unit right now.
We are.
So the one we hit was a 9 unit, and we lost the other 8. So we're up 1 unit, guys.
That's pretty good. I'm happy about that.
And don't, I got to get Jake in here too. He's 0 for 0 because the one he picked was a push. But, Jake hasn't got one wrong.
That's true. Jake's very rarely wrong.
Yeah.
There's not something that's in his bag of tricks.
I can remember the last time Jake was wrong.
Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun that you'll have. Who's coming to Fenway? I just got my mom. This is the, give a mouse a cookie thing. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Give a mouse a cookie, they're going to want a glass of milk. This is my mom. I got her tickets to Darius Rucker at Fenway, and then the other day she just slinks in the kitchen, and like they're in the EMC club. They're like the fancy seats. I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. Darius Rucker, you love Darius Rucker. Here you go. She slinks in the kitchen. She's like, hey, did you see the Zach Brown band's coming to Fenway? I was like, no, I didn't see that. Oh, you got any of those EMC tickets? Like, no, I don't know anything about it. And I was like, I've been a little busy lately. Ma. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll hop on the Game Time app and I'll see if they have Zach Brown band tickets at Fenway. And get her the ticket. It's she created me. She created this mess, this problem. Wouldn't be anywhere without my mom. So happy to go on the Game Time app and get her more tickets to more concerts. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive, and she'll listen to this and be like, you know what, Jared, fuck you then. She'll literally listen to this and be like, I'm never fucking
just want to put my toes in the water. Just want to put my ass in the sand, and you got a fucking problem with that.
Yeah. She's gonna give back. She won't laugh at it. She'll just be like, you know what, I'm never asking you for another fucking thing again, Jared. Okay, like Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Get images of your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code Jared, Jared, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, you use the promo code Jared for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. My dad texted me the other day, and he was like, what's the Game Time promo code? And then I don't think he ever told me what he bought tickets for. I don't even know what it's. I'm assuming it's a concert, but yeah, he texted me the other day, asked me for the Game Time
stepped up because you wouldn't.
Huh?
Maybe he stepped up because you wouldn't fucking hook your mom.
No,
I
got the tickets.
Zach Brown band tickets.
I got the tickets.
Oh, okay.
I got the tickets.
Okay. I take it back then.
Yeah, I got them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what concert my dad's gonna go to, but we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I think we pretty much hit everything. I had a bunch of stuff on the rundown, and I think if I didn't get to it, you guys kind of queued me up on a lot of stuff. We hit the Hall of Fame ballot. Aaron Judge taking batting practice. The Reds have won 5 straight. They're only a half game back. The Cody Bellinger stuff, Sal Frelick, MVP debate, the Orioles, the Angels media. Yeah, we pretty much got it all. The only other thing that I had on here was the literal last line in the rundown, which was the NL West is cold as fuck right now, which it's whatever. Like the NL West, no one's playing well right now.
Relative to
we got it.
What?
July 3rd, my pick for the parlay was Logan Webb, 5.5 Ks. Told you to take the over. He punched out fucking 9. Suck me. Go ahead. Yep. Yeah, I don't care. I'm here for the boost. I'm here for the boost. That's fine. I am your champion. Leader in the club.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I do my final thoughts instead of fucking listening to Dallas try and tell us how he's not 5-4?
Found it.
Please.
6,
All
Jay.
right.
6. Sorry, bud.
So, speaking of 6, I went and counted the number of people who are going to be on next year's Hall of Fame ballot that I would unequivocally take ahead of Billy Wagner, and I removed anybody with a hint of steroid or PED allegations, so we don't have to deal with those people. If you include those people, it's 10 people before we get to Billy Wagner. The 6 clean guys, quote unquote, Adrian Beltre, Carlos Beltran, Chase Utley, Andrew Jones, Todd Helton, and Joe Mauer. All of those people deserve to walk into the pearly gates of Cooperstown before Billy Wagner. That doesn't include A-Rod, Manny, Gary Sheffield, or Andy Pettit, who I would also put in before Billy Wagner. Those are my final thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Joseph, final thoughts?
First and foremost, shout out to Brewski on Twitter, who is the man behind the spreadsheet, keeping everyone accountable.
Thank you,
That's
Brewski.
who I got it from. Maybe I'll just go through my picks that I made on my personal betting account and just say all the wins I've got. That's on the pod, or I can.
Yeah, can you just give us your last month, like all your betting stubs from the last month? Just start reading them.
Yeah, I'll get on that. Just win after win after win after win after win. Final thought. Well, I would say this. I don't want to. We're talking shit about the NL West. We didn't cover it, but hey, Dodgers out of the NL West have been killing it. So NL West, other teams get better. Dodgers, tip your cap because, as I predicted, they are still the team to beat in the West.
I agree. No one's hot right now, though. Like we talked about it
Dodgers.
earlier. Dodgers have won 7 of 10. The D-backs have lost 4 straight. The Giants have lost 4 straight. The Padres are fucking the Padres. I mean, they're 5-5 over their last 10, and the Rockies are the Rockies. So, yeah, that is quite the disappointing division race. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, it's not over. D-backs can get hot again. We'll see. Dallas, you have any final thoughts?
He already got his.
Oh yeah. No, you're cut off.
No. Bryce Harper. You guys see the play that Bryce Harper made?
Yeah, diving into the stands. A little camera roll.
Yeah. It's a little thing, but for me, the dude has meant so much to now multiple organizations, and in an era where athletes are constantly protected, and understandably so, and I think Bryce is a fairly good example of why, it's just refreshing to see a dude who's got the money, who is playing for one thing and one thing only, and just simply does not give a fuck about anything else. The dude just wants to win baseball games and will do whatever it takes to do so. And watching him play first base, willing to play first base, whatever he can to be in the lineup to try to. I love shit like that, man. And I really, really appreciate it. And as a baseball fan, I appreciate it. As a Phillies fan, I would appreciate it because it's a product I'm consuming every day. He's a big part of that product. Yeah, it was just nice to see. Doesn't go unnoticed.
I thought that we were going to get some sort of 15-minute segment on like another random reliever, like Brandon League or
hadn't
Brandon
given
Lee,
Brad Ziegler
Brandon
a
Lee
send off in like an hour and a half.
Do you want to hit
No,
on BJ
that's-
Ryan before we get out of here?
No idea why Brandon League ever got his the baseball was ever hit. 96 plus.
Brandon
power
League
save.
was nasty
It
in
was-
MVP.
Stupid. It was stupid in real
He
life.
sucked in the game, but
Yeah.
he was It was real. It was
Yeah.
nasty.
Stupid in real.
Yeah.
That shit was just ridiculous to watch.
Yeah. My final
Love me some Brandon
thought
Lee.
today, Scott Williamson.
Yeah. You go Scott Erickson. Talk about that guy.
Scott Williamson, man. In 2003, this guy, I mean, where would the Red Sox have been without Scott Williamson? You know, comes over from the Cincinnati Reds, 42 and a third innings, got the 3.19 ERA, 53 strikeouts. You know, hell of a career. Played 9 years in the big leagues, 5 with the Reds, 2 with the Red Sox. Played with the Cubs, Padres, Orioles. yeah, I just want to give a little love to Scott Williamson before we call
That's a
it
waste
a
of
day.
time. That was a waste of time.
Classy.
And
Classy
Brandon
pod.
Williamson, too.
Yeah, why not?
He got a win.
Mhm.
Wore the big Snuggie that his grandma made, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool post game.
Shout out to Woody Williams.
Yeah,
over
Woody
here.
Williams, Game 1 starter, the 2004 World Series. People don't talk about that enough, so I'm glad we got that one in.
No,
too.
they don't.
Bernie Williams?
Bernie Williams plays great
Any
guitar.
thoughts?
Yep. All right.
Bernie Sanders.
Sticking up for the minor leaguers.
Yep. They're getting
it up.
paid. Thank you, Bernie. And we'll be back on Wednesday for more Brad Ziegler talk right here on Baseball
right.
is Dead.
Wow.